So they've done plenty, right? You have strong lanes in a Gnar, Callista. Although they are going to take a couple of levels to get under the belt, right? Whenever you have an Alistar, you're not going to have that great of a level 1, so you need to somehow get to level 2. That could be potentially an opening here for the Tristana Nautilus, right? As long as you don't stack on top of each other and offer yourself up for a 2-man knockup coming in from the Pulverize of Alistar, you potentially can find a way to kill the Callista at level 2, flashing Flash Auto onto the Callista with the Nautilus, and then jump on with the Tristana. And Tristana packs certainly a lot of early game damage to pop the Callista.
Yeah, I think there's a fair bit of burst if they actually line up the targeting. But one of the issues for Dewish team has always been trying to coordinate those strikes. We will see if they can develop it. We're starting to see most of the other squads in this league really get things together. Dewish team, one of those teams that has yet to find a win, joining Sem9 down there at the bottom of the table. We'll be looking for it. And an aggressive start as they sniff into CFO's jungle, but are spotted immediately on the ward. So unfortunately, this is not likely to bear fruit.
So the big thing with this Dewish composition is they want to play for early game tempo. And of course, you know, you have Oyster, you have Nautilus. You can snowball very, very hard around those two picks. At the same time, when you have a Zoe versus Corki lane, the Corki isn't going to be able to get a lot of priority. So Zoe should be able to have first roam when it comes to some of these skirmishes on the side. And if they're able to eliminate Gemini from this early game, that really stifles the ability of Shun and Koala to play forward, knowing that their jungler is going to be very limited in how to get to their lane. But
we'll track
Gemini on this Poppy, like, he can just hard camp bot lane.
He can, but he's got to make it. He's got to make it out of his own jungle first. Lakunai just opts not to lane. He chases him off blue buff. This is good.
And this was the big player we highlighted from Dewish team when it comes to trying to find a win condition. It's Lakunai. And that's a good look. Yes, you're going to give up some power in this lane because I don't think he was able to get there in time to get any of the first 3 melee minions. So that hampers him a lot, but it's all about making sure the spot lane doesn't get shellacked by Callista Alistar.
I mean, it's a sacrifice play up the top, right? To be able to give your laners a little bit more of a chance. They are getting pushed in a little bit by Shun and Koala right now. A lot of respect being shown that way for Shun, who returns onto the Rift. After sitting on the bench for most of the first 2 weeks, it has all been about Atlan. But now they're mixing things up. This is the 5-man squad that made it into the finals and very nearly dethroned PSG Talent. Worth remembering.
Mm-hmm. They could have been at MSI. And maybe if they hit MSI, that means that Shun just starts right off the bat. But
yeah, I mean, I think the jury's out on this one. Like, it seems like this team really wants to try and test the waters a little bit more. I'm curious to see how they look with Shun, because Atlan had not played with this squad
And what
before.
Do you know?
Here comes Gemini on the
it's
level 3
lane.
gank. Yeah.
Lane focus here. This is going to be really tricky. Remember, tower does a lot of damage.
That does, but Poppy can knock somebody in. They're going to try to deny.
WSL,
Here's WSL.
Great read.
Oh, they sniffed this out. Great read for sure as Gemini denies the
Good
Sonic
deny.
Wave follow.
Shout
But
to.
it's all about protecting the bot lane. Shout to around the side as well. Gemini is going to get bold and start the blue buff. Koala and Shun are here. Sleepy Trouble Bubble will land as he dashes out. Mid dash gets paddled. But now it's Xiaotu forced to flash away, and that was the real flash.
Curious position. I would have assumed that he just throws out the bubble and then walks away. Maybe throws down a trinket.
Yeah. A little deep for the Battlestar.
Yeah, I mean, he landed the bubble for sure. So perhaps he wanted to get more damage, but his team just not in a position to respond fast enough. He needs to be a little bit more patient with his team's position making his way over. And as a lot of things we've seen from Xiaotu, sometimes he lacks the patience. And of course, reminder, you know, he's coming in from overseas. So that's always something to keep note of. And WSL, another one of those players who does play from overseas, he's just shadowing his bot lane.
There's always been a bit of an issue with the like actual latency between mid jungle and the rest of the team, whether it was Dewish team, whether it was Hurricane Gaming, or even Alpha Esports. Same problem here as WSL does come in. He finds an opening, but not able to get the kill. Really just kind of hand-holding his bot side, and that does mean that Bang 2 has been able to at least keep up close enough with Shun and Farm. He's still down 10 CS, and they're trying to plug the holes early on and not let Shun get a big lead. That is one way to deny CFO.
One of the big things when you do have a Poppy Lee Sin matchup is that neither of these junglers farm particularly quickly.
That's true.
So you can.
Oh no, the chickens! They betray. Oh wow, the aggro.
That's unfortunate. But WSL is just going to go ahead and finish those Raptors rather than try and slow down the back. And it's all about tracking the other jungler. It's all about these jungle ganks because there's really no way to power farm on these two champions. So lane impact is paramount in WSL now, throwing attention towards the top side. Now that he feels that, the bot lane perhaps in a comfortable spot. Oh,
ooh, hold up,
level 6.
Rast has got, big edge on Lacuna right now, who's going to dodge, just gets out of harm's way. There's no way you stay in lane, though. You can't stay in lane, even if you're setting up for WSL.
WSL has to just show. He has to just show.
He's got to know. He's got to know this is happening.
Whereas on the flip side...
Oh, dear. They've got in how. Spear's sticking in him. This is going to be a pretty dead Nautilus. As you could see, Bang 2 is hoping to try and get a return kill onto the Alistar. Just not enough damage early on.
Observer trying to hide the shame. Pan away! Pan away!
Pan away, we don't, yep, cut the feed. All right, well, this is going to net CFO on top of the first blood, a nice Ocean Dragon to kick things off. So winning on the bottom, winning on the top. And yeah, Lacuna does get out with his life, at least on top side, but he's going to give up a lot of pressure for plates. And 2, getting a little assertive, a little aggressive. Zhao2 coming down, Sleepy Trouble Bubble, not going to land though.
Doesn't reach, yeah. That bubble did reach. Maybe it offers an opportunity. So we get to see the replay and how. Again, it just comes down to, hey, our jungler showing that top side. At the very least, they definitely know he is top side. So we have to be prepared to have their jungler down in his bottom half. And they gave up that knowledge for way too long and didn't ward up and give it an opportunity to respond. So they just get clapped in. That is the return game.
Prince. Repeat. They already catch Enhow on the Hex Flash and knocked into the wall. That Nautilus is going absolutely nowhere. Even Gemini claiming the kill. So they haven't been able to shut down Bang 2. But you know what they have done, Nightstar? They've been able to make sure he can never safely farm.
Yeah, and losing your support repeatedly. That's going to mean the Nautilus isn't going to get the levels that he's not going to get a lot of to begin with. Which means that he's just going to stay very, very squishy every time he makes a move. Already dying twice. And all these lanes are suffering quite hard. And this is always a difficult position from a jungler standpoint. When all of your lanes are just suffering and you just can't do anything. Then as a Lee Sin, it feels even worse because you are only a champion that tries to do something in the early stages of the game. It just gets harder and harder as time goes on as the champion. Yes, you can find that miracle kick and maybe a miracle objective steal, but you can't rely on those to be the reason why you pick this champion.
It's actually a good pull from CFO. They're actually not going to give an easy opening for WSL to try and even pull off the steal. Koala is just going to dissuade them from it, so that's the finisher. Gemini picks up the eye. The Rift Herald Battlestar doesn't actually quite connect after the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, and Dewish team are there as a 5-man to just watch the objective get taken.
Would have been a possible pick attempt if the Battlestar did land and they'd actually be able to get some good damage onto Koala, who doesn't have the ultimate available. However, doesn't happen, and now We're in a state of nothingness, which is problematic for Dewish team because they're already in a deficit. And yes, you could say later on, at like 5-6 items, they might outscale because then you have the Tristana extra range kicking in. But yeah, it's a bit of a lengthy time to wait.
That's the thing. CFO have a timer. Yes, technically that is true. The problem for Dewish team is that's a really long timer. And we're 10 minutes into the game. It's a pretty hefty gold lead of about 2,500. A fair bit of it is in that bottom side between the kill and the farm differential. Shun is kind of off to the races already. As level 6, yes, Bang 2's been able to match, but Gemini is just continuing to show up time and again, and they have to know. They absolutely have to know. But what can they do about it?
And Hal's like, I'm just sitting way back here because I know I'm going to get jumped up.
And they still just going to put a few more spears in him as Bang 2 is able to leap to safety. I mean, the nice thing about Tristana is you do have a little bit of an escape. That is objectively true as well. But again, you just kind of put so far behind. Gemini's going to have a lot more Vest Poppy as the game goes on because they both have impactful ultimates, but the Poppy can do a lot more. And now WSL is going to have to get an escort just to take his blue buff. Or excuse me, just to give it over to the Zoe.
Koala level 6, so they don't really want to go for that fight. Since Enhao isn't level 6 himself. That would have been definitely a bit of a doomed play. Now, it will be a lot of control given over in this bot half jungle over to CFO, as they are able to invade and set up with Koala and Gemini. Possibly a dive angle, although with Enhao making his way over, probably not anymore, but
mission's out.
If they didn't pull out the extra member, definitely could have happened.
So CFO controlling this one, you know, after some seriously chaotic and crazy games, we kind of just have a nice little chill one. And CFO in the driver's seat, they're in control, they're just cruising down the highway. Unfortunately for Dewish team, they're locked in the trunk.
Oh man, it is definitely bad. Shout to if he's able to land a bubble, it is possible. Especially since in this mid lane, like Mission isn't going to be able to do a whole lot until he hits 2 items. Once he gets the Ludens, then the game changes completely, right? Because then this Corki just turns into an absolute behemoth. So he lands one rocket onto a backline, it just feels game over. But Dragon Bean started out. This is much different. It's not Cloud, so Gemini isn't taking a ton of damage. And that also means that, you know, CFO does a pretty easy dragon to take. No risk at all.
Yeah, not to mention, you know, Poppy's pretty well protected, right? Doesn't even need the steadfast presence on to really make it happen. Gets the smite. That's going to be the Drake stack going. We have a Cloud Soul on the table for this game. I think that's okay. Feel fairly good about that one. You're also fairly slippery if you secure it. A lot of ifs, but the way CFO is playing seems likely. And now there's a package on for Mission 2. And nothing to really use it on, so we can actually just threaten a play.
I think he might just look for a top roam.
Yeah, there he goes.
I think he just went ahead and burned it.
Could not deliver.
He gets a crab.
He
got the crab.
Yeah, it's worth.
Yeah, I'll show him. As he literally just napalms the heck out of that
we answered
crab.
the age-old question. Do crabs get mail? Oh, there's the hook in. And Hal looking for an opportunity. WSL's here. Maybe they can kill Koala.
That's the ult,
He does have the ult burn. Sleepy Trouble Bubble not going to land. They do not want to commit to the dive. The headbutt pulverized threat is too much. And now, like Kunai, chasing Rest off, or trying to, off his tower as a last-second play to
save some
fall.
plates.
Yeah. Rest is just
It's
dirty
not
farming. Oh, boy.
Classic Rest.
Here comes Gemini,
behind
too.
the turret. Also has the jungler support, which is even more of an issue. But look at the roam.
The misses.
There could be something happening around this mid lane. I thought Shao 2 WSL would try and charge their way up to the top side, but it doesn't actually happen.
WSL,
and the objective bounties already popped. Like Pyra, they're down bad.
Yeah, they really are at this point. This is a pretty big gold lead. It's about you know, about as close to I want to say like or like 3,500, 4,000, and some change, almost 5. Wow, don't do math on broadcast.
Yeah.
But Rest could be in trouble here. Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Oh, it doesn't land. He's just out of harm's way again, and Rest is playing on the edge, but that's just where he likes it. You know, newer viewers to the PCS may not be aware that Rest is known as the BM King. He does not respect anything or anyone. He only plays by his own rules. Right now, those rules are paying off. He's 25 CS up, 20 CS up against a Gwen.
This is a really slow game though.
Oh yeah,
15 minutes in, only 2 kills. Definitely
compared to earlier, right?
We've seen earlier in today, yeah, especially that first one. That was just that was 12.11 on steroids. Something we've definitely not seen. But now it's like towers falling everywhere. It's slow, but it is sure death. It feels like. Because now you drop all 3 outer towers at 15 minutes. What? Or they haven't dropped the top one, but that is very low. So there's not a lot of map left for a Dewish team to play around.
Yeah, it's the slow and steady strategy for CFO. They're not presenting a target here. I mean, Nightstar, I think CFO might be going for the perfect game. They've given no kills. They've given no towers. They've given no objectives either. Well, I guess technically, like, does Herald count? I feel like it shouldn't count.
I mean, people, the perfect game would factor in plates and Herald.
But those didn't exist back in the day, and those still were perfect games. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm counting it. If it happens, I'm counting it.
You know, in baseball, they have perfect games, but there's also like shutouts, right?
Yeah.
Or no hitters. There's like nuances.
Does the game of baseball get changed every year? They do add more players. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the rules change a little bit.
That's true.
But not quite as
I'm
much
an
as
NFL guy,
Legends.
so this is a little bit more out of my area of expertise, but that's okay. You know it's a little bit of a chill game when we start talking about regular sports.
But now back to the esports. Nah, we still have some time to burn.
Deportes electrónicas. You ever watch Spanish casting? Man, those guys go hard.
I feel like a lot of other language casting just goes hard in general.
100%. But yeah, this game
30 seconds till dragon
is slow, but it doesn't mean CFO can't speed things up anytime they want. The thing is, they control the pace. They're chilling at this point. Now, Dewish team are going to try to at least push towers, but they're losing so much ground for this. Like, sure, it could be a trade, but even with Rift Herald
throwing up Rift Herald, which means that its next dragon is just completely free. So they are praying that maybe they can get a full tier 2. That would be welcome change into their pockets, but not even that.
Mission denying the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Shelly gonna get shredded down from the Gatling gun. Honestly, it's just as easy as you like, and now this is going to be soul point for CFO.
This is a throwback to how Alpha Esports played, right? It was K-Babe and Xiao2. They would just literally camp a bush and hope someone walks into them because they had no other plays left available. And what do you know? It's Lisa and Zoe. Definitely a harken back to their Alpha days where it was just Lisa and LeBlanc camping in the bush, hoping you walk in and they get a kill. But even then, they got marginal effectiveness out of those bush camps. You would get the kill, and maybe you get a red buff afterwards. You just can't. It's a feel-good method, but you're still losing regardless.
Yep, and Xiao2 getting caught by the Poppy.
Oh, numbers advantage.
That's a turnaround. Big numbers advantage. I don't think they realized that was happening. That teleport's burned on both sides. All of a sudden, things have gotten very fast as Dewish team get 1 kill, trying to use their numbers advantage for more. Rest, blast cones away to safety. And you can't fault Dewish team for trying. It was a good turn, Nightstar, but may not be enough here as Xiao2 does manage to find Rest. Sleepy Trouble Bubble turns into a big paddle star, but Rest is still safe.
Well, they've got a little bit of bite to them.
Yeah,
from
CFO,
Dewish team, right?
you know, they stepped on the rattlesnake there. That was a little tough, but they will be able to reset with minimal casualties. And oh, Mission, never mind. Oh, Xiaozu, what were you doing out there?
Oh,
Okay.
not a
Back to the drawing board.
surprising play, I have to admit, Pyra. Of all things, very Xiaotu, that is definitely one of them.
Rest back to TP'd right back to it. Bang 2 though, looking for Mission. Good
Oh,
sidestep. That was
missed the
great.
walk.
Does he get the? Oh no! He just gets popped by Mission. NL locks him up, and they don't have the damage to follow through. Koala gonna be able to body block on WSL. They're just gonna deny as much as they
Too
can.
many minions.
As Rest comes through here, and they even bring the Merc Wolves to the party. CFO. They may have lost a tower. They may have given a kill. But make no mistake, they are still very much winning this game. And at a 20-minute mark, they're just going straight for Baron. That's how confident this team is.
Confident, and also knowing that it's a two-man advantage. They don't have a jump.
There's no
no
smite.
way they can.
Also, there's a Callista on your team. Again, it's like a free
Yeah.
extra smite. Like, look at those. Wait for the rent stacks. There we go. Look at that.
No teleport onto the top lane. They're showing bot lane. Yeah, that is freer than a fire sale.
Oh boy.
At a
Mission. Mission. You know, Bengtu is
Dash.
3 levels down,
And then
and it was a
he
good dodge
misses
on the big
big
one.
rocket too.
Ah, but it's that second one. Unfortunately, Tristana, the jump is not actually a dash. It's not actually a dodge. It's
Not a
just a
blink.
line. It's a drag. That's why.
like, unfortunately, WSL, he jumps in, but his Q gets blocked by that minion that's standing on top of him too. So
Yeah.
he, was hoping for an opportunity to get some shutdown gold from this Forky, but doesn't happen. And now,
Oh.
okay,
Oh,
Koala.
well, it's Koala.
I mean, yeah. You don't have enough to one-shot him quite yet, and even then, he has the ultimate to break it.
That's a pretty big gold
Top lane.
advantage, pretty good dragon advantage, pretty good everything advantage here as they start to rotate up towards the top. You see Mission. With the help of Shun, should be able to finish off this tower. Yeah, Gwen might be immune, but your turret certainly isn't.
Still, for CFO, yeah, it is a Callista composition. We talked about it. Hey, Callista, a little bit hard to just hit tower.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
But for Mission on this Corky pick, yes, he may not hit tower, but he can lob rockets at you. Those hurt considerably too. A lot more so than these paddle stars that don't have the additional Sleepy Trouble Bubble amplifier put on top of it.
It's one way to siege. You just keep shredding your opponents down until they can't stand up, and now we're seeing the rotation back down into the mid lane. Rest is able to just chuck out boomerangs, and it's going to force the response. Bang 2 and Lacuna are going to look for an opportunity. They don't find it. Are a little bit too fast on that hyper anyways, and once again, right, you were talking baseball earlier. How about this for a pickle, Night Star? They're just going to be able to keep rotating back, and now they've caught Xiaotu right in the middle of it all, as he just gets shredded down to 0, and I think this game is just about to end. This might even be a record for us here in the summer split. 22.5 minutes, and going for gold. Our CFO should get
that's
shut
a big
down.
shutdown. Okay.
So they maybe get a little bit eyes bigger than their stomach on this one, and Gemini will be able to turn at least 1 kill. Lakunai going forward. The scissors are golden for half a second, but his health bar drops all the same. With the double kill for the Poppy and knock against the wall, looking for 3 as WSL should fall shortly. That's going to be yet another, and on the hop into the fountain for the swag. Terrific play. He forces Bang 2 back on into that one, and well, I think this is going to be a pretty fast one after all.
It's going to be the fastest game.
Might be.
If
Yeah, they're not going to end, though.
No, it's not. Dewish team, you don't have the honor of being the fastest loss on the Rift.
Trouble. Ah, those minions. Bang 2.
And
oh,
Mission-
he still gets some.
Wait,
He gets
ooh.
knocked to it. Not even close. Not even close, and he's going to get more. Maybe we spoke too soon. Maybe we're going to end this after all. The Corky double kill. I didn't even need the rest of the team.
Man. And PCS didn't play Corky before.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We were asking that question all spring split. Where is the Corkster? Finally, they pick it up, and oh boy, everybody looks good on this champion.
He is just lobbing.
All right, let's see this play again.
Bombs.
Xiaotu feels so
Hey,
confident.
this is like, oh, great. We landed that 100% should be a kill. We land a Sleepy Trouble Bubble. I have reinforcements coming in. And then it's like an 80% rocket. This champion is illegal.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Confiscate.
I played TFT.
rocket.
I already knew that.
Take that away.
This is why fireworks are illegal in many U.S. states.
Yeah, I was about to throw in the expletive.
Don't do that. This is a family
too
broadcast.
ridiculous.
This is a family broadcast.
Too illegal.
Oh boy, yeah, 25 minutes on the clock, just about. CFO looking to shut this one out. Not a perfect game. 1 tower, 2 kills. That's not what they got. Steadfast presence, good denial, and last ditch effort there from Dewish team to try and save their own lives, but it's not gonna matter. WSL goes in, WSL goes down now with the defenders falling. That's the final domino, you have to think. 3 members remaining. A special delivery comes through into the Sleepy Trouble Bubble at point blank. The mission just doesn't care about it as they delete Bang 2 off the map, letting the minions and the Winions do the work right now. Lacuna Age out to the last member standing, but as the tower falls, it's still pretty much the fastest game today, even if it's not record-setting. That is going to be CFO closing out their week with the W.
Welcome back to the Rift.
Yeah.